Did you know that aluminum alloy castings rapidly start losing strength at 350 degrees? So what do you think's happening to your Harley? This is the sixth video in the multi-part series on why and how to cool down your twin cam and Milwaukee 8 engine. In the last video we talked about what our target temperatures are. In this video we're going to talk about why our target temperatures are what they are. The first reason is because the ideal temperature for an internal combustion engine is 195 to 220. You can Google it till your heart's content. That's an undisputed, just Google it. Forget what the dealers say. Look at what all the experts are saying across the board, 195 to 220. From a practical standpoint, most people have ridden their Harleys in cold weather. When you ride your Harley in cold weather, you know that it has more power. You can feel it has more power. It has crisper acceleration. It just runs stronger in cold weather. It runs stronger in cold weather because it's getting cold air into the combustion chamber. Cold air is denser than hot air. Cold air has more oxygen in it than the air out there, which is like 91 degrees right now. And so the cooler that your engine runs, as long as it's not running too cold, the cooler that your engine runs, the more power it has. That's one of the biggest reasons why you want your engine to run cooler, is because it runs stronger. People spend a lot of money doing stage 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s on their bike, into the thousands, to get more power. Well, when you cool down the engine, you get more power just from cooling it down to proper or optimum operating temperatures. And so you can take a typical stage 2 bike that's done just per the Harley specs, what they have in their stage 2 kits out of their catalog, and then you can take the same bike and do a good stage 1. And we have a whole other video on what's the difference between good stage 1s and not. Do a good stage 1, including cooling it down. And that stage 1 will outperform that stage 2 every time, because cooling it down adds so much more power versus having it run hot and sluggish. Why do Harleys have so much more power when they're cooled down? Well, it's because when they're not cooled down, they're running 250, 275, 300, 325, 350. Besides getting more power that you can feel when you cool down your Harley engine, whether it's a twin cam or Milwaukee 8, you can look at all the people who have designed Ford, Chevys, Hondas. All of them have thermostats that open around 185 to 195. Harley's thermostat opens at 185 because the optimum operating temperature for an internal combustion engine is 195 to 220. This is not according to the master tech down at the local Harley dealership. This is according to the people who design engines and who study them and do research on them. So you can do your research and you can find out 195 to 220 is the optimum operating temperature for an internal combustion engine. One other reason that we chose a target temperature of 230, that is a temperature reading that is on the outside of the engine. Remember, inside the combustion chamber, you're getting over 1,000 degrees. The inside of the engine is much hotter than the outside of the engine. And here's the thing, I'm going to read you exactly. Aluminum alloy castings rapidly lose strength at about 350 degrees. And what does it mean when they lose strength? When they lose strength, that cylinder is going to go out of round. Those valve seats are going to warp. The heads are going to warp. So it rapidly loses. It's already losing some integrity below 350 degrees, but at 350 it starts to rapidly lose its strength, and then you lose all your tolerances. So You go, well, 230 is a long ways away from 350. It's not that far away when you're talking about the inside of the engine is going to be running much, much hotter than the outside, which is where the temperature sensor is. And you want to leave yourself some cushion. So 230, because remember we said 230 is the optimum, but you know, if you're going up a hill 70, 80 miles an hour and 90 or 100 degree weather, you're going to go up to 240, 250, maybe even 260. And then around 270 is when it starts getting sluggish. One of the reasons it's getting sluggish is that metal is starting to lose its integrity, the tolerances aren't there, you're not getting as good a compression, and you're losing power. To wrap up this video, what we've gone over is Harleys run better when they're cooler. Everybody knows that from riding in cold weather. Better acceleration, just a stronger running bike. Number one. Number two, the optimum temperature for an internal combustion engine is 195 to 220. And number three, when that temperature hits 350 inside, which is around 270, 280 on the outside, you start losing, the metal starts losing its integrity, and you have accelerated engine wear. So that's it for this video. If you found it interesting, useful, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. They'll probably find it interesting or useful. And you all ride safe out there.